right, guys, I'm Cristian Alvarez at LowKickMMA. Right now, I got with me one striker, Muay Thai, former Muay Thai world champion for WCK, and Colombian American Muay Thai star, Diego Paez. How's it going, boss?
Going good, man. How you doing today?
How you doing? How's the camp going on? Because you're fighting next month. You're fighting a big star in Johan Ghazali. How's it going so far over at your camp over there, over at Classic Fight Team? How's that going for you so far? A month away, big thing. You're fighting at Lumpini Stadium again. How you feeling so far?
I feel great, man. I mean, right now is the heart of it, so my body's sore, but that's a good feeling always. But everything's going smoothly over here. Everything's aligning well. Training camp
Excellent.
has been very tough. I've taken this fight very serious as I have great respect for the opponent. I know we're both coming off losses, so neither of us like losing, and I don't plan on losing. So I've been training really hard.
Excellent, excellent. And one the thing about you is you've been on the scene since the Lion fight back when they were still around. But you're a dad, you're a coach. How exactly do you balance that? You got a son, you're a leader in your gym, and on top of that, you're going to be fighting at the biggest stage in Muay Thai, which I'm sure was a big leap when you first fought old rival Sean Clamaco there. So how do you do that balancing act of being a leader in your family, a leader in your gym, and being an individual in that ring and that in that ring when you're fighting against an opponent at that highest level? How do you balance that act, those three things?
That's definitely the toughest job, balancing it all out. But I just try to stay present in the time being of whatever it is I'm doing, and I love it. I love the pressure. I love feeling like I get to represent not only my team but all of my students, and most importantly, my son. My son is at an age to where he's asking all these questions. He's so interested. He wants to always come with me, and I'm not at that point yet, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited to put on a show and to get the win that I deserve.
Excellent. Here, a proud father. I follow your social media, so I love the stuff that you do with your son there. But as it's going, as when you first debuted in ONE Championship, you fought an old foe. You fought Sean Clamaco, another California native. California has a great history of Muay Thai, kickboxing. Joe Schilling out of there, Benny Urquidez out of there. Long, long history. So when you debuted on ONE and you fought Sean, a guy that again that you fought in Lion Fight, which was the biggest stage for us Americans at the time, how did it feel just walking in, facing a familiar opponent? And just that Lumpini Stadium vibe, how different was it? Because a lot of people call it the Madison Square Garden of the East. Did it feel like that when you first stepped in? The lights were on you, the crowd was roaring, you saw Sean there, and you kind of had your back and forth war. How were you feeling once you debuted and you were like, I'm here now. This is it.
It felt really good. Honestly, I didn't get to process everything until after because I was trying to stay present and just kind of tunnel vision on the objective in front of me. So I didn't really get to take it all in, but until afterwards. But it felt really good, watching it and being able to go out there and display my skills after being on such a long layoff, due to like
Mhm.
injury after injury and due to life. But it felt really good to get back out there, and I learned a lot from that fight, and I'm excited to come out there again and show everybody everything that I learned.
Well, the thing about that is that you faced an old opponent, but now you're facing another American striker in Johan Ghazali, who's a big star. One loves him. He's an exciting fighter. He's a knockout artist. He's so young. He's 18. And coming into this fight, it's kind of one of those things where a lot of people are expecting him to win, that they're not thinking much about Diego Paez. Where, like, if you're a fan of Muay Thai, especially since it's a more niche sport here, we know that you're kind of that underground warrior, that guy who comes on out that when you know who he is, if you're Diego Paez's name, you're like, yeah, I know who he is. I know he's a fighter. But on the opposite end, you have that guy, that Johan Ghazali, where a lot of people don't even know who he is. They just see this kid, they see the charisma, they see he gets knockouts. So it's one of those things where, like, how do you feel being that in that position where, like, a lot of people are kind of not expecting you to win per se because of such a big star that Johan is. It's not an indictment on your skill. We know you're a skilled fighter, but it's one of those things where you're kind of this underdog and you kind of go out there and you're going to have a hard fight. So how do you feel in that position where you kind of go out there, you have to prove yourself, or it's just another day at the offense? All that is just noise to you. How do you feel thinking about that?
Yeah, it's all just noise to me, man. It's no different from any other fight. I do put respect as he is a young up and coming fighter, and he has a few finishes in one. I've seen that. I've also seen his losses and seen his weaknesses. So I'm very good about studying. I got a good team behind me that helps me as well. Very confident in the matchup, and I think it's a really good name for me to beat. All respect to the kid. He puts on a good show every time, and I know anytime that someone brings out the best in me, anytime someone forces me to fight a little bit different, it's a good thing because something good comes from it always. And I like the push, I like the pressure, and I like fighting big names. So he's a young star in the making, and I'm excited to get this win over him.
Excellent to hear. And how do you feel? Like I said before, California is pretty much our mecca of Muay Thai, our mecca of kickboxing, going all the way back to the 60s. Karate, Muay Thai, kickboxing, and boxing. California is a fighting state, and you come from a good place and a good gym. So how does it feel representing the United States in that manner, where we're underrepresented in Muay Thai? And on top of that, you have that Hispanic heritage to you, where there's a lot of great, as a Colombian American, there's a lot of great Hispanic fighters to come out of California. It doesn't matter what part of Latin America, but representing your country, representing your gym, your family, your heritage. How does it feel as you're going to go out there and just waving that American flag, going on to take on the biggest star? Like, do you have a sense of pride in it, or is it just this is just work to me? How emotional do you feel on that, or are you just stoic in it?
I'm very prideful in it. I'm very prideful in it. I try not to get too lost in all like the outside extremities of right now. My main focus is just training hard, training smart, and showing up on fight day the best Diego Paez I can show up. But I am very proud to represent the USA and Colombia and represent most importantly my team, Classic Fight Team, as we've come a long way from the amateur shows to the big show. I mean, to the pro scene, now to the big show. So I'm very excited to go out there and represent for my people.
Excellent, excellent. And a couple more questions is that, so watching your fights, you're a guy who likes to spin. You're a guy who has a lot of excellent attacks. And Johan is a guy who likes to come in and kind of like go to war with his opponents. And a lot of his losses, he's lost to guys. And the thing that you have a good weapon is, and you and Sean both show it off, especially Sean with his recent fight against Akif Gulizada. A lot of us, of the American Muay Thai guys out of California, have excellent footwork. So not, if you don't want to give it away, but just what is a weakness that you think, or something that you think you could take advantage in this fight? That aggression, that guy who he thinks, I'm going to run this dude over, I'm going to hit him, I'm going to put him down. Or are you going to be one that kind of guy where it's like, I'm going to weather the storm, or I'm just going to stall on them? How do you see yourself winning against a young star like Johan Ghazali?
A little bit of everything. I think the footwork is going to be a huge factor based off his losses. I think movement is a good thing, but at the same time, I think he breaks a lot of people's will. A lot of people don't like to sit in the pocket with him. And when I'm forced to sit in the pocket, like I said, big things come from it. My will is stronger than ever. I'm not one to break under pressure. So I'm very excited to show a little bit of all the skills that I have, not just footwork, aggression. I think I was a little too safe in my last fight. I was thinking that I was ahead while I was in the fight, and that mindset got me a loss. So I learned from that, and I'm hungry, and I'm ready to perform again.
Well, excellent here, Diego. You're a man, a very tricky individual. You have excellent attacks, and it's one of those things that we're very excited to see you to compete at One Fight Night 32. It's going to be on the other card, an incredibly stacked fight night. He's going to be on the other card against Johan Ghazali. Be sure not to miss it. Thank you so much, Diego, for your time. Good luck to you, and please make us proud.
Of course.
Have a good day. Take care, sir.
You too, my man.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKickMMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.